All right, so we about to get started with hopefully an edifying lesson. So first and foremost, call halayam Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Wakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and elder apostles of Great Millstone. Rabahab, Rob salutations to all the sincere brothers, fellow laborers pushing this truth across the four corners. To the hopeful elect, to the hopeful 144,000, to the few sisters in this truth, to those of confusion and face scattered across the four corners. Rabahab, Rab Shalawam. I'm Brother Dayath Bakar. And we're going to kick it off by listening to an excerpt from Off Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. They appear to be Edomites, but don't know. Just don't know. And the reason why is because confusion of face, man. But he does a good job with Watchman work, man, and he's a real good source for news and current events. So I'm gonna play this real quick, then we're gonna get some scriptures on NATO and the BRICS nations clashing and colliding in World War III, which we're in, which has been building up, and we know all the wars America's really been in since the 80s, but really, since the whole Cold War thing, this has really been pushing since then. And if you look at a beach, you have your terrain, and then you have your buffer zone, which is the sand. Then you have your water. So that water is the war. And the 80s was that buffer zone, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, the Iraq wars and all these things. It was all to get this situated. America had to get other nations out the way. All right. Because the whole world is coming against Esau, Edom, even Esau, Edom. And we know Esau loves to pakal, right? Well, Russia is what that is. Russia is the headshot for Esau. All right. So as ironic as it is, but it's spiritual. So let's get to this development.
The United Kingdom has sent at least 24 of their SAS Special Forces troops into the Odessa area, and Russia has even tracked them back where they came from. So not only does the West and NATO have spies all throughout Russia, Russia has spies all throughout Ukraine and in Europe and in the United States, folks. They're a big country. They've been doing this for years. So this is not going very good. It's also being reported that Prime Minister Boris Johnson has threatened to nuke Russia in retaliation for a weapons of mass destruction event in Ukraine without NATO's approval. Now, I have several articles.
Modus operandi, man. Nothing under the sun. Esau doesn't get creative. He doesn't get jiggy with it. Same thing every time. A hammer only nails. All right. And Mystery Babylon, through the elite, they're orchestrating this market of beast system. And it's by any means necessary. They don't let things organically happen. They always surgically insert themselves and force things to happen because they are the devil the Bible speaks of. And these are called false flags. All right, like the ship of Lusitania that happened to get America into the, World War II, and different things like that. And I seen that ship of Lusitania's fin in Dallas, man, when I used to live in Dallas a couple years ago. And Rabbi Haba Shalawam to the brothers at Dallas GMS, I pulled up there and listened to them teach. And I looked at how big the fins were, man. They're like taller than me, and I'm 6 foot, and how thick the metal was, and the rips and tears of the fins, man, look like paper. And it was like, I would touch it and everything, and I would be like, dang, you know? And they had Americans on those ships, and America, blew up their own people just to get into this war. So they don't have a regards for if you're American or if you're an immigrant or anything. You know what I'm saying? Esau's pissed off, man.
Are going to read you over the last couple of weeks. We have been telling you this, but Russia has been telling the world that NATO is going to do a major false flag using weapons of mass destruction, either chemical, biological, or nuclear, in the Ukraine area, and they're going to blame Russia. This will give NATO and the United States a pretext to respond in kind, probably with tactical nukes. So this is all being set up. We told you this was going to happen. It looks like it's happening. And nobody wanted to believe me, or most people didn't believe me. They think I'm just full of BS. But I'm going to read you the article.
And, what comes along with this, man, is they're rallying up, they brainwash. It's like what they did with, the whole Operation Iraqi Freedom and stuff, and 911 emergency call. You know what I'm saying? I can't really say the word, Salakia, dropping that, but, that got knocked down by the planes and whatever. But, they had to lie and do a whole bunch of lying. They even went as far as to make a primitive chart and said, this is what happened, so I'm going to get to some scriptures, man. Not to hold you guys for too long. So I'm at Isaiah 13. And to finish my thought, man, World War III, man, they're going to have a draft, man, and along with that draft, if you reject to fighting in the war, then they're going to put you in a different division. And that most likely will have something to do with, martial law policing and working at FEMA camps, or, operating guillotines, etc. So they're going to find a way. And then you got to get, the sucker punch, and you got to take the MOBT, if you know what I mean, the grain of rice. So they're pretty much going to strong arm people in so many different ways into this beast system. But the primary way is going to be through starvation. Food is one hell of a drug. Isaiah chapter 13, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that may go into the gates of the nobles. All right, so that's what we do, is do this watchman work. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. So this is NATO and the BRICS nations, headed up by Gog, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, all right, which is talked about in Ezekiel 38. So Isaiah 13 and Ezekiel 38 are going to go together. And if you want more precepts, man, you can get that in Revelations 8, Revelations 9, 12 on down, Revelations 18, even Revelation 17. All right, so let's get that again. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. So these nations are gathered together, and the elite are done with America. They don't need America anymore. All right. And so this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour with thermonuclear weapons. And this is just the buildup. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host to the battle. That's World War III. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. And that's not talking about coming out of heaven. You know what I'm saying? That's talking about, this power structure, this kingdom. It's the end of this world as we know it. And quick precept on that is going to be Second Esdras 6 and 9. All right, let's get that. I'm just flowing through the spirit, man. You know, it's we got to keep the wheels moving on the road. Okay, here we are. Little last words, man. All right. Second Esdras 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that's what that means when it's talking about in verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. All right, so those weapons of indignation, talking about, you know, thermonuclear destruction. All right, so I'm just gonna hold that and get a different sword out. I'm gonna get those precepts I mentioned real quick. All right, so Revelations chapter 8. Verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, thermonuclear weapons. And they were cast upon the earth, and a third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. And so whoever is not sealed by Halbashim Shai gets destroyed. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. That's Mystery Babylon, fully engulfed in flames. All right. Into the kingdom, and the third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. Okay. And then when we go to Revelations 9 and 12, it says, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So we're now in World War III. Okay. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before Yahweh, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels, which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay a third part of men. And that's the wicked, man. That's Esau. All right. And that includes those that are just unsealed in general, you know, because it's going to take, you know, spiritual powers and miracles, you know, to survive. All right. And these times to come, man, it's going to be the worst. The scriptures say it's going to be the worst time of all time. All right. Revelations 18. It says, I'm going to get Revelation 18. I'm just going to start at 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven. And Allahayam hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. So America has done nothing but destroy, bomb, nuke things, and the world is ready to do it to America. Mystery Babylon, the whole world has pretty much held court on America, and they've had enough. In the cup which she hath filled, fill her double. So all the wickedness is coming back. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her. All right. And then when you get to Revelation 18:17, it says, for in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught. So everything America has done in 1 hour, it's a wrap. And that's why you see them starving people out. That's why you see Mystery Babylon, you know, Joe Biden is just a puppet, man. You know, he's an antichrist, anti-Mashiach, office pursuing a Daniel 6. All presidents' job is to fulfill exactly what Antiochus Epiphanes was doing in First Maccabees, first chapter. All right, and that's what every president does. They preside over Babylon, but they're not the main power because remember the presidents in Daniel chapter 6, their job was to set Daniel up through their wicked laws, which I can get right here in Isaiah 10. So I'm right here. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. All right. And that's what they did. So pretty much if you pray to anybody but the king, all right, it was a death penalty. So that's what presidents do. They set up wicked, grievous laws so that they can slaughter the saints, man. All right. And so I'm gonna get the book of Daniel. I'm gonna go to chapter 12, verse 1. I'm gonna get straight to the point. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. All right, so the archangel under Yahweh Shai that watches over Yasharal is Michael, who watches over Esau's people. Well, it was Lucifer, but now Lucifer has abandoned Esau because essentially he was just an employee for Yahweh Shai. And cinematically, there's a cinematic precept in the movie Willy Wonka where you had the guy, you know, trying to see if the kids were given the secrets, you know, of the everlasting gobstoppers and different things like that. All right, the whole movie of Willy Wonka is really about the Hebrew Israelites. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So such as never was since there was a nation. This is going to be the worst time of all time. And it's already cooking up, man. You know, people are wicked. People are showing they evil sides. You know, you got people that don't want to push this truth. You got people that could care less. All right. You got people running and turning to vices. All right. And that's all because the Most High has given them a lot of gross darkness. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So if you're not written in this book, man, you're going to be destroyed, man. All right. Like there's no way out of this thing, man. This is like ELE extinction level event, like the Busta Rhymes albums. So now I'm going back to Isaiah chapter 13. And it says, I'm going to go to verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. So, you know, this is going to be a time of utter fear, utter pain. People can barely be eating, barely be drinking. There's going to be purges happening all over the place. It's going to be kidnaps happening all over the place. Rapes happen all over the place. Cannibalism happening all over the place. All right. And essentially, humanity is going to turn into a straight up beast. All right. It's going to be like Grand Theft Auto out here, man. All right. And then you still have and that's just the people. All the different governmental and militia factions are going to be really here to destroy everything moving, because Endgame is to exterminate all the goyim, which the elite call the people, which are is a word for cattle, useless eaters, even though the heathen are the goyim. So, oh snap, the page from my 1960s Bible, man. All right, I'm going to Revelations 12. I'm just flowing in the spirit, man. Revelations 12. And 7. We just pretty much talked about this with Daniel 12:1. and there was a war in heaven. That's that war isn't up in the sky, man. All right. That's not the true understanding. All right. It's not angels. How can you kill an angel when you're already in the spirit world? That heaven is the kingdom. Heaven is a state of power and rulership. And right now we're in Esau's heaven and the Hebrew Israelites' hell. So yes, I am in hell. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, you are in hell. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. That's the Edomites. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. All right. So the dragon and his angels are his armies. All right. And neither was there a place found anymore in heaven means that they fell, they lost their power. All right. And verse 11 says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. All right. And why is that? That's because, the Esau's got this mark of the beast, and this grain of rice thing they want to put in everybody with this new Build Back Better digital currency. That's why it says Revelations 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And I'm at the forefront of Yasharallah humbly, through the spirit of Yahbashim Habshai, of really breaking down the components of the sucker punch, the snake venom. And I can't really talk about that here. All that's on BitChute. So most high willing, I'll leave that link. But this is a complex thing, like the scriptures say, man. Esau is wiser than Daniel. You know what I'm saying? So the juice is loose. The juice is a part of the mark beast system. All right. And the final components, like building a pyramid, the capstone is that rice grain. All right. So you have your soup. You have your soup with rice in it, so to speak. All right. And those nanite particulates and that luciferase and that grain of rice, that all comes together prophetically. You can't fully facilitate one without the other. Like Switzerland right now, a lot of people have the grain of rice in their hands, etc. And they've been beta testing that. And then in Moab, China, they have the different systems of locking people in, forced quarantine, so people starving to death, dropping from buildings. It's a heightened. I think this past year has been more suicides probably than ever in modern times, man. And they talk about that predictive programming in that movie that happened where everybody was killing themselves. That was all that was about, man. That juice was loose for real. And that starvation and these draconian measures. The forked tongue. One side says, we're doing this for your safety. Stay inside, stay inside. And the other side is saying, if you come out, we'll destroy you. So then what happens? You stay inside, and they're putting barbed wire in front of everybody's doors, and people are starving to death. The grocery stores are completely shut down. This is a global shutdown of the whole world, man. All right. I'm just flowing in the spirit, man. So let me get some different precepts for y'all. Go to Jeremiah chapter 40. Actually, no, I'm gonna get Jeremiah 49. It's Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Hey, man, there's no wisdom in this place, man. This place is done, and this place is gone the way of Baal, man. All right. And yeah, this place has gone away a ball. Okay. And at the heights, um, Esau wishes to maintain power now that he's fallen, and it's gloves off, man. So now you have Obama talking about the internet. It's getting in way with the Constitution and all these different things. They're just about to shut this thing down. All right. They're about to shut it down. When we look at Jeremiah, so what chapter? Jeremiah 49. Yeah, Salaki on that. Just double checking something. Jeremiah 49 and 16. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks. And we know that's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called caveman, the red man. He ranges from dark red, pink is red, to light red, clear bodies. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill. So they hold the height of the hill, they hold the power of the world, man, and influence of the world. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, America, Rome, all right, they use the eagle for a reason prophetically, and because the eagle sits above all the other animals and gazes down and snatches its prey. It's an apex predator. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Adonai Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. That hiss is really just whistling, going like, like, ooh, that's hissing. All right. And I'll close out right here. This is just a quick hit, man, quick video. And for you up and coming brothers out there, man, you know, you don't have to go 1,000 deep on every lesson, man. Just deal with the lessons, teach the precepts, break down each precept, understand the precept before you bring it out, and edify people, man. All right. And don't worry about who's going to get edified and all those things, because that's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's business. Our business, I guess I'll get that next. Our business is just to do this work, man. Keep your feet moving. And the Most High says, run, you just run. He didn't say where run to. He said, just, hey, man, run. Then just start running. Don't say, you know what, I ain't running nowhere unless I know where I'm going. It's like, look, man, the goal is the kingdom. Salaki on this. Got this new Bible, man. In other words, the pages be sticking together and it's real thin, but I got this on real quick. Got this on Amazon. It's 15 font. So it's like the biggest words I could find, because I don't like wearing glasses and stuff. They weaken your eyes. So this is Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, though that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock. So, you know, that white power, that so-called white pride, that everything America has done, everything Esau has done, who built nukes, who built these biolabs, who designed AIDS, you know, who's pushing the alphabet communities on people. You know, it's Esau, man. This is what they do. It's so bad that Esau is even sick of Esau. And that's why we have Russia, Gog, Magog, ready to take out Mystery Babylon, America. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, though that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks, because they come from the cavemen, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. I got two more things I want to bring out. And I'm gonna end it with Ezekiel 33. And I'm going to Job 30 to capitalize on the last two precepts. The stuff just fits together like puzzle pieces. All right, so this breaks down this whole clefts of the rocks, and this is Job talking about the caveman Esau. All right, this is Job 30. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision. All right, so Esau's the newest thing smoking, man. All right, he's the new guy on the block. He's the new kid on the block, and he ruined the community. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. They like to have sex with animals, bestiality. You know, they like to have pedophilia cultures. That's the new wave. And we seen it coming a mile away after the alphabet thing was gonna be pedophilia, bestiality, damn robotality, fatality. Shit. Yeah, whereto might the strength of their hand profit me, in whom old age was perished. These people are wicked, man. They don't give a damn about your age. As soon as they see the advantage, they're gonna destroy, kill, rape, rob, and pillage, brainwash, subjugate you to slavery, turn you into a damn coon, and then like gaslight your ass the whole time and say you're crazy for not treating them like God. For want and famine, they were solitary. All right. So for want and famine, they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste. All right. So they were driven from amongst society, man, because they're so evil, as we can see now. The whole world is destroyed because of Esau being in power. And this is how they lived, who cut up the mallows by the bushes. So that, you know, by the bushes, you see them wild mushrooms and things, and juniper roots for their meat. They would, you know, dig in the ground and, you know, get roots from trees. You know, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. That's why they, you know, got the Great Wall of China, man. The nations were sick of Esau, man. And Esau has no checks and balances. He's the wicked. And I'm not get the precept on that, man, but that's Job 9:24. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. All right, there we go. They were driven forth among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed. That's what braid is, man. It's communicating like animals. Among the bushes they brayed. Under the nettles they were gathered together. You know, they're all huddled together like dogs and shit. You know, eating rats and rubbing poop on their faces. And I once read this book by the false prophet slash, I believe Elijah Muhammad is an Edomite. On his father's side, he's an Edomite. Even Louis Farrakhan's an Edomite. But I remember reading this book when I was like 17, man. And I remember telling brothers in high school, man, and one of the brothers now was one of the top leaders of GMS Los Angeles, man. And I read this book, man, and it was talking about how fecal matter was the staple thing for the cave beast. You know, whether it was food, whether it was, you know, making your own type of mortars and concretes, whether it was, you know, protection to keep themselves warm, they would cake themselves down, their hair and their bodies. They would cake it down with fecal matter. It was the prized possession of their society. And they would just cake on the fecal matter. They would skin an animal. They wouldn't rinse it. They would skin an animal, keep the head on it, you know, put that on it, blood dripping down, fecal matter. And if they need to keep warm, they would just keep putting more on it. So that's one of the ways that they gained dominance when it came out of the Caucasus Mountains, was disease warfare, because they would throw their clothing on you. You'd be like, ugh, ugh, and, you know, it smelled horrible. And now you're sick as shit. You go into the village, boom, everybody dies, bubonic plagues and stuff. And once they figured out that that was their power, I read this in a Mason, a super evil book that I never recommend anyone open, man. It was called the Book of the Mysteries of the Ages, man, written by a well-renowned 33rd degree Mason. But the Most High wanted me to really understand what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Back when I was in the world, and I was just binge reading on a lot of different books. And Alexander the Great actually, you know, was dealing with Lucifer, Satan. And, you know, they were, the angels on the left-hand side told them that disease warfare would be one of their key instrumental powers of crushing the world, the angel that world at the time, so they can, you know, rise in the ranks. All right. And so ever since then they've been using. That's why we see biolabs everywhere. Hell, you might be a mile away from a damn biolab, man. All right. So to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and the caves of the earth and in the rocks, among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools. So Esau's a fool and he's a children of a fool. All right. So if you want another name to call Esau, it's just fool. Hey, fool. They were children of fools, yet children of base men. What's base? Base means the bottom or sub, and men. So you have subhuman. So they're subhumans. They're not even human beings. They're mankind. They were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than earth. And we know the earth is made up of muck and mire, dirt and bacterias and insects. They're dirtier than that stuff. So they're lower than all of existence that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has ever created, man. And here's the last precept. And then I'll let you guys go. You know, I know you want to get to that Netflix. I know you want to look at the basketball highlights. You know, I know you want to see what's going on with Nipsey Hussle and his gay ass. I was telling cats, man, back in the world, man, I'm glad I walked away from those opportunities Satan tried to throw at me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I told cats about that dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I told cats, man. You know what I'm saying? I used to live in Crenshaw. I told y'all cats about AMI and the industry and how this thing worked, man. You know? And I dropped direct and rap music videos and I dropped it like a bad habit, man. It's like Most High, true story. Most High sent two angels, man, right before I was gonna go into the industry, man. And I was starting to see the signs. They were telling me little weird things like, yeah, you're gonna have to meet different executives and shit, and you might have to do some favors. And I'm like, what kind of favors? And like, if someone's gonna make you rich, use your imagination. I'm like, what? I just graduated film school. I'm directing for this person. I'm over here at this big record label. I'm at this big record label. I'm hanging out with this celebrity and that star and this rap legend and that rap legend, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm at my former girlfriend's house at the time. I fall asleep. And immediately when I fell asleep, I have a video posted somewhere. As soon as I fell asleep, man, you know what I'm saying? It was like two big lightning strikes. Everything went black, everything went white. I didn't even know I was asleep anymore. I'm looking. I had like two massive, giant, like 300, 400 foot angels in front of me, man. Mad dogging it with eyes glowing, man. Like I'm talking about eyes glowing, like, and they were huge, man. They were brothers, man. They were like Michael Jordan's color. Their skin looked diamond encrusted. They had beards. Their hair was parted down the middle, down to about right here. And then, you know, it was a whole conversation. And cold turkey, I abandoned my whole livelihood of what I've been grinding for. You know, what I had degrees for, what I had super talents for. And I dropped it and became a bum and Most High started kicking my ass and humbling me. And I'm here today doing the truth. But a week from that dream, you know, that actually after that dream, I woke up, I went by this Bible, man, in Van Nuys, Sepulveda Boulevard. You know what I'm saying? And I was in there looking for the right word, man. I haven't found the Bible better than this, man. It's precept heavy. Not to tarry too long, man, but this is true stuff. This book is from like 1966, 67. And that week, I was on the highways and byways, Sepulveda Boulevard, and in the hood of hoods, man. All right, like the Compton of the Valley. All right, and here I am today, man. And to the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. I was walking dead, man. So when people say, man, you're not worried, like, yes, doing highway and byway, like, not scared to be out here and doing this? I was like, nah, man. He was like, why? I was like, bro, anything a man could lose, I already lost, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've lost anything I've ever really loved, I've lost. So I'm not afraid to lose my life. If I die, I'm gonna die doing this work. So that's why you see me do all these highways and byways the last 8 years or so, just to get this out the way, man. For some of you brothers that need to hear this, man. You know, I've been pushing my body hard. My feet hurt, my legs hurt, my back hurts. You know what I'm saying? Literally. and probably like 50, 52 highways and byways, you know? And why? It's because I know that it's about to hit the fan, bro. And I'd rather be found doing than found not doing. And this is, I said all that to lead us right here to Ezekiel chapter 33. And I'm just going to go at 7. It's talking about the watchman and what happens if you don't do the work to alert the flock, the people of the house of Israel. All right. The blood's going to be on your hands if you don't do the work, man. If you do the work and they don't listen, the blood's going to be on their hands. All right. So this is Ezekiel 33 and 7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Yasharal Israel. See, so it ain't for other people, man, pursuant of Matthew 10 and 5. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. So we're speaking, I'm speaking, you're speaking on behalf of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakwadash, man. And we're blowing the shofar, man. This is important, man. You know, sound that horn, man. Blow that horn. That horn is your mouth speaking this truth, speaking these prophecies, man. When I say to the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So if you don't do this work, the Most High is going to hold you responsible for that person never potentially coming into this truth, repenting, learning the name, or any of these trillions of topics that we could expound on through the scriptures, man. But with that said, man, I pray you guys are edified. Shalom, 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 rabahab to the hope for the elect, man.